Hey, this is Russ. Hey, yesterday I uploaded a video for you guys to see the unboxing of my new Sous Vide product from Anova. And these were given to me by my daughter and son-in-law. So today I decided I'm going to show you the maiden voyage of the unit. I'm going to cook up some steaks, sous vide style. And so I have a couple of top sirloin steaks here, and I got these at Costco. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. Now, I had mentioned this is probably the easiest method of cooking, and I'm not kidding. I am absolutely not kidding. The sous vide method is just essentially putting the meat inside a bag, which you will vacuum out the air. I do have a vacuum sealer. It's a food saver, actually. But I decided, I think the easiest way to do this is, rather than pulling that thing out, is to use a Ziploc bag. So I got myself some of these freezer gallon size Ziploc bags, and I figured this is really the best method to do it because anyone can get this. You don't need to buy a special vacuum sealer to do it. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that, okay? So let me go ahead and fill this water tank up with some water. And you can use cold water if you want, but that just means it's going to take longer to go with. So my suggestion is to use hot tap water. Just fill this thing up with hot tap water and then plug in the unit and do it. So I'll be right back. Let me go ahead and fill this up with water, and then we'll see how this is done. All right, I am back. I filled up the water tank with some hot water, and now I'm going to show you how we go ahead and do this. I'm going to open up the Ziploc bag, and again I used freezer bags. These are gallon-sized freezer bags. You don't need to have one this big, quite frankly, but I have two things I'm putting in here. So let's go ahead and open that up. I'm demolishing that thing, but that's okay. Take a bag out. I think the freezer bag is really the best way to go. Let's move this to the side. I'll open this up, and then I'm going to fold this down so I don't get anything on the actual seal. All right, I'm going to put that to the side for a second. I'm going to season up the meat here. So what I did is over here. I got some of this. This is McCormick's Grill Masters Montreal steak. All right, so let's give this a shot here. Let's see if I can get a sprinkling. I think it's a sprinkling one. Here we go. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on the meat here. Doesn't come out there well on this little thing. I don't want to use the big opening because I know that will make it way too much. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to put this on both steaks, both sides. There we go. I think the best way to do is shake and squeeze at the same time. Here we go. So we're going to have enough on there for both of these. Do some of the edges here a little bit. A little bit more over here. There we go. Use a liberal amount here. These are fairly thick, so I want it to penetrate a little bit. I have to give it a little bit more, right? And the edge. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put this in the bag. Just like that. Let's move this out of the way. I think the best way to do this is actually to let the water displace some of this. So I'm going to stick this right in here. I'm going to give this a little bit of room here. So when it goes vertical, it's not going to fall on top of each other. And I think if you put it in the water, that's going to push the air out. I'm going to go as high up as I can and then seal it. That's kind of like vacuum sealing. So I think you can do the same thing without a vacuum sealer. I'm going to put this rack back here, and then I'm going to make sure everything's submerged, and I'm just going to keep this in towards the center. Let's do that so that it can circulate well. And I'm going to put a paper, what do they call this, a binding clip. Binder clip here. That'll keep it in place. Put the lid back on. And by the way, I put the water tank on top of some trivets. These are silicone trivets, just so that when this thing starts to heat up, it's not going to heat up the table too much. So a little bit of padding is going to be helpful. So let's go ahead and put this back in here. And we're just going to clamp it in place, and I'm going to turn this on now. All right, so we have the meat inside the water tank. Now I'm just going to set the time and the temperature. So I'm just going to do this directly off of here. I'm not going to do the Wi-Fi at this point. So the first button tells me the current temperature is sitting at, where is it at? About 98.6 degrees. And I'm going to set a temperature of this to 139 degrees. Then I'm going to hit the button here to tell it how long. I'm going to go for 45 minutes. All right, so let's pop this to 45 minutes, and I'm going to hit the little play button. You can hear this thing moving now. So looking at the water, I can see that the water is actually doing something, because I can see some vibration in the water, so it's actually moving the water. And all we have to do now is wait 45 minutes once the temperature reaches the 139 degrees that I set it for. So when it hits 139, it's going to start counting 45 minutes from that point. We should be done at that point. Now, the thing with sous vide is that this is going to keep the meat at a constant temperature throughout fronts, backs, sides, everywhere. But the best way to do this when you're finished is to actually give it a sear. And you have a couple options. You can use a cast iron skillet or any type of skillet. Cast iron seems to be the best way to do it. Or you can get a torch, and you can torch the tops if you wanted to of the meat. I think the easiest way to do it is to put it on the skillet. Okay, the time has come, and we are now done. According to the unit up here, we've hit the 0 minutes and 0 seconds mark. So we're finished. So I'm just going to hit the off button here, and we can take this out. Now, be a little more careful with this, because this water is really hot. So let that drain out over there. There we go. Let's move this to the side here. So let's see what this looks like. Now, I don't expect this to be pretty looking out of here, because if you think about it, there's no sear on here. But this should be cooked medium according to the settings that I had set it for. So I'm going to take it out. Let's do this. We really don't need to see this anymore, right? So let's move this out of the way. So I'm going to shut this thing down. All right. So let's see how this turned out. If we look at this, not the prettiest looking thing. Not the prettiest looking thing, but we're gonna make it look better. So I think the best way to do this is we're gonna dry this out a little bit. I brought some paper towels here. I'm gonna dry this off. Let me get another plate. And let's dry it out a little bit here, because we're going to sear this. We're going to use a cast iron skillet to do that in. So whenever you're searing, obviously you don't want extra moisture there. we're gonna sear. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to this skillet. And this is bound to splatter. So let's go ahead and let me add one of these right here. And do the same thing for the other one here. And I'm just going to let this thing go. Move this out. And I am using a Field Company skillet. Field Company. And the reason I'm using a Field Company skillet this time is because this is an item that my son-in-law gave me. I thought it would be appropriate to do that. So what all I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this thing sear for a while on each side. All it's going to need is about a minute or so at most. Okay, let's see how this turns out. All right, the steaks have rested for a while, so let's go ahead and cut into one and take a look. See what it looks like here. And I'm going to take this larger one here. I'm just going to cut it right in the middle. Just to see, wow, this is really easy to cut. What do you guys think? Yeah, this looks really good. Now, for some people, this is too rare for them. I don't think so. I think this is actually, I would consider it maybe medium rare to medium, more towards the medium rare side. Let's cut a piece of this. It's the moment of truth. All right, here's a close-up here. There you go. How's that look to you guys? All right, let's try it. It's good. It's nice and tender. I would say this is medium rare. I would not call this medium rare. Yeah, really good. So yeah, if you haven't done sous vide before, get yourself a sous vide unit, give it a try. We'll do more of these cooks too. As I'm learning a little bit more about it, you're gonna learn with me. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon so you can see when new videos from me come out. Sous vide.